today's video we are going to be doing another Champions League review today, and we're going to be whispering about game week 4 of the Champions League season. So it was quite a good game week, I must say. There was some pretty crazy games, two really big games as well, and we're at the point now, it's the halfway mark of the Champions League now, so the table and the games are already starting to take shape. So I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions on most of the games, and let's just get straight into it. So Slavia Prague 0, Arsenal 3, goal from Bukayo Saka and a brace from Miguel Merino. So Arsenal get yet another victory here, another win in the Champions League. It is 4 from 4, and another very comfortable one, 3-0, no goals conceded yet again. Really straightforward, weren't really threatened at all in this game, and had some decent chances, got the job done, scored some nice goals actually. Merino got a brace, scored both goals were really nice, well taken finishes. I mean, Merino, by the way, this guy's like low-key one of the best backup strikers in the world. It's pretty crazy. But with all their strikers injured right now, he's come in and scores a brace. I mean, what more is there really to say here? Arsenal just getting the job done, as they have been so far in the Champions League and in the Premier League against a lower level opposition. So fairly comfortable for them. Napoli 0, Frankfurt 0, and the Antonio Conte Europe curse strikes again here, and the Frankfurt streak is over. The 5-1 UCL streak is over for Frankfurt. All of their previous UCL games this season had ended 5-1, but this one ends 0-0. This is what I'm talking about with Napoli here. They were actually clearly the better side, but couldn't put the ball in the net. Like I'm saying, I mean, there's got to be some sort of juju witchcraft going on with Antonio Conte in Europe, because they've made a really, really bad start to this Champions League campaign, honestly. They're in actual danger maybe of not even making the top 24. I think they've only got 4 points now, They've actually had some fairly comfortable, easier games, so not good. This is a game they should have won based on their chance they made. Shout out to the Frankfurt goalie though, he made some really nice saves, particularly one at the ends. But Antonio Conte, just for whatever reason, cannot do it in Europe right now. Atletico Madrid 3, Union Saint-Gilloise 1. Goal from Julian Alvarez, Conor Gallagher, Marcus Llorente and Sykes. So Atletico Madrid get back to winning ways here in the Champions League with a fairly comfortable victory, 3-1 over Union Saint-Gilloise. Now, I just say it was comfortable. To be honest, Union Saint-Gilloise could have come away with a point here. They had a chance at 2-1 late on to level it up, but completely messed it up. And then down the other end, 96 minutes, Llorente finished the job, but it was actually, like you see here from the stats, it was a fairly even game, to be honest. Both teams had some chances. Julian Alvarez scored a fantastic goal and continues his great form this season. What is this guy's name, by the way? It's Ross Sykes, okay. Because when I was watching the highlights, the commentator kept calling him Big Man Sykes, which is absolutely hilarious. But anyways, he scored the goal, but then had an absolute mare for the I think if it was Alvarez who raced through 1-on-1 but missed it. But good win for Atleti. I mean, Union Saint-Gilloise sort of becoming a bit of a whipping boys now, just sort of playing for pride here. But Glimt, really been the story of their Champions League so far. Absolutely pepper a team, but can't put the ball in the back of the net and then just get punished. That sort of lack of quality, that gap in quality, I think has really shone through in a lot of their games in the Champions League this season. And it happened again in this one. They were definitely the better side. Monaco was only really the only chance they had in the game. It was a great 1-2 and finish from Balogun, but Glimt were the better side, but like I said, couldn't put the ball in the back of the net, and that's sort of happened in a lot of their games in the Champions League so far. For example, against Spurs, and I can't remember the other one. Yeah, Gala, I think, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, the Gala game, like, they actually had a lot of chances as well, so very frustrating for them, but a really nice win for Monaco there. Juventus won, Sporting won, a goal for Dusan Vlahovic and Araujo. So this one ends 1-1, but Juve will be frustrated because they definitely were the better side in this one and had plenty of chances to win this game. Sporting were great for about the first 20 minutes, and then outside of that they offered absolutely nothing. Look at that, like 0.08 XG in the second half. They did score a absolutely fantastic goal though. It was a really well worked goal. I really did like that, and a nice finish from the left back, but from that point on it was all Juve. You had plenty of chances, but shout out to this man Rui Silva, because he was immense and made some really, really top quality saves in this game to keep it at 1-1 and get them a point, which is actually a really good point for Sporting. They've made a really strong start to the Champions League, so good point for them. Encouraging signs though under Spalletti though for Juve. I thought they were a bit better in this game, but unfortunately couldn't get the win. Okay, let's move on to the big one then. So Liverpool 1, Real Madrid 0, a goal from Alexis McAllister. So Liverpool come out on top in this one, and it was quite actually a straightforward one, to be honest. Like, Liverpool were clearly the better side in this game. Absolutely destroyed Real Madrid and was fairly comfortable in the end for them. If it wasn't for Courtois, it would have been like 3-0 or something. It would have been like 3-0 out in the 20th minute. Liverpool absolutely peppered the goal, but for whatever reason, Courtois, whenever he comes up against Liverpool, guy turns into like prime Yashin. He just goes absolutely mental whenever he plays Liverpool. And yeah, he made save after save in this game. But it was a really good performance from Liverpool. Defensively is what really impressed me though, because of course that's been a big problem for them this season, and then coming up against that electric Madrid attack, I was a bit concerned maybe they could get exposed there, but they were fantastic. Madrid really didn't cause them any problems. They let Madrid have the ball and Madrid couldn't break them down. I want to give a massive shout out in particular though to Conor Bradley, who it's kind of like Courtois for whatever reason. This guy does absolutely nothing, but as soon as he plays Real Madrid, he turns into prime Philip Lahm over here and just locks up every winger he sees. He absolutely locked up Vinny in this game. And I also thought Florian Wirtz, this was probably his best game in a Liverpool shirt. He was much better in this game. Dominic Szoboszlai as well was really, really good. Overall, good performance, good win for Liverpool. Definitely what they needed after the last few results they've had. But from a Real Madrid perspective, that was very, very bad. They got completely dominated from start to finish in this game. They didn't offer anything. They didn't really threaten the goal at all. Defensively all over the place. They were really getting bullied as well. This Madrid team is so weak. Like, there's no sort of aerial presence, and they're constantly losing those aerial battles, not dealing with cross cross into the box, and of course the goal eventually came from a ball into the box, a header. And really outside of Bellingham, I didn't think anyone was particularly impressive in this. Courtois, of course, was particularly great in this Madrid team, and I think it was a bit of a reminder that, under Alonso they still have a lot of work to do to get to that elite level, and they, like I said, they still have a lot of work to do. They've made a good start in La Liga, but I still think, as we've seen in this game, there are plenty of holes still in this Real Madrid side. Of course, Trent came off the bench and got booed on, but I mean, yeah, sure, whatever. Yeah, okay, it was a good game, but okay, Olympiacos won, PSV won, goal from Gelson Martins and Ricardo Pepe. So Olympiacos, heartbreak, they conceded in the 93rd minute, and they absolutely battered PSV in this game. They were clearly the better team, had plenty of decent chances, but concentration in the end just cost them. A really, really good goal though, by the way, from Gelson Martins. A huge throwback. I did not know this guy was still knocking around at Olympiacos, but yeah, disappointed they couldn't get the win. Okay, and the other big game of the week, PSG won by Munich, 2 goals from Joao Neves, a brace from Luis Diaz, and a red card for Luis Diaz. So, this was a absolutely fantastic game to start with. As a neutral watching it, very, very entertaining for sure. I think we did learn quite a bit from this game. I must say, I am very impressed with Bayern Munich. I think right now, for sure, they are the best team in the world right now. They have won every game in all competitions, and I really wanted to see, like, this was the test, this was the one, because of course, they've done well in the Bundesliga, and, they played Chelsea in the Champions League, but they haven't come up against a truly one of the best elite sides in the world. So this was the test away from home against PSG, the reigning champs. And for me, they passed with absolutely flying colours. I mean, the first half, they destroyed PSG. They were clearly the better side. Honestly, could have been 3 up in that game. In that first half, they had plenty of chances, and they were absolutely superb. Serge Gnabry, Luis Diaz, both were balling out in that first half. It was great. Then, of course, the red card happens, which I think was a little bit harsh, if I'm being honest. I feel like it was just because, obviously, Hakimi got injured from the challenge. I feel like the VAR were like, oh, you know what, I think we need to give a red here. But then, yeah, the second half, Bayern dug in, and they did superb. Like, they didn't really get absolutely peppered by PSG or anything. They defended really, really well. Upamecano and Jonathan Dahl were absolutely immense at the back. Yeah, I thought they dug in and defended really nicely. And, that sort of showed me, they got that character, they got that ability to just sit in and defend a lead with 10 men away from home against the champions of Europe. And they dug in and got the win. So yeah, this Bayern team looks very, very good right now. Of course, though, it's still early days. And at this point, being the best team in the world doesn't really mean too much. Because, we've seen plenty of teams start the season off well and then collapse when it matters most. And I mean, just look at PSG last season. It's not really in tournament football. In the Champions League, it's not really about how you start, it's more about how you finish the season. So we'll see if Bayern can maintain this throughout, and I mean, if they can, I don't see anyone stopping them right now. But yeah, they look fantastic, and a huge win for them. And for PSG, I was a bit disappointed in this game, considering they were coming up against 10 men for an entire half. I thought, okay, you're really gonna go at Bayern and try wasn't clear cut. Obviously, they've been massively hampered though by injuries this season, and they picked up 2 more in this game, Dembele and Hakimi. I think once they get that fully fit squad for a consistent run of games, I think they should be okay. But yeah, right now struggling a little bit with the amount of injuries they have. But like I said, I mean, at this stage of the season, these results don't mean too much. They're more just a bit of a mini statement by Bayern, a little bit of a mini statement. Alright, next up we have Spurs 4, Copenhagen 0. A goal from Brennan Johnson was not a bet Van de Ven, Polina, and a red card for Brennan Johnson. So a much needed victory for Spurs after that horror show against Chelsea. 4-0 winners here versus Copenhagen. It was a very, very deserved victory. They actually had 10 men as well, but they still managed to get the win in comfortable fashion. And that was actually one of the goals of the season scored here by Mickey Van de Ven. Wow. Just ran from like his own half all the way up the pitch and then belted it in. Was pretty mental. But yeah, very, very good win, and definitely, as I said, needed after that shocker versus Chelsea. And I also thought that was one of Xavi Simons' best game in a Spurs shirt. Pavos beat Villarreal 1-0. Lucasen with a goal. A fantastic moment there for Pavos. I think that might be their first win actually in the Champions League ever. Yeah, that's their first win, so congratulations to them. Very, very well done. Oh boy. Qarabag 2, Chelsea 2, got from Andrade, Jankovic, Esteban Garnacho. So before I go into Chelsea, I do want to give massive props and massive shout out to Qarabag, because they're actually kind of become like the biggest shock, I think, of this Champions League campaign so far. They've been a bit of a surprise package, and I think they've gone under the radar how good they've been. Like, they absolutely smoked Benfica in the first game. They got a draw against Chelsea, and look, they're on. Where are they? They're 15th on 7 points after 4 games, which is really good. They've only lost 1 game, and that was against Athletic Club. 2 wins against Benfica, Copenhagen, a draw against Chelsea. They're doing fantastic, and they honestly have a good chance here of making the top 24, which would be really, really cool for them. So well done to them, and they played very well in this game, and honestly could have won this. But oh boy, Chelsea, man. I mean, I don't want to go too much into detail. Honestly, I don't really want to speak about this game because it was absolutely awful. Same old story, just horrific defending. Tosin and Hato, like, I don't know how he got a 7.5. No chemistry, just no authority at the back. Just errors after error, and then the attack, just nothing going on. Tyreek George playing up front does absolutely nothing. Giddens does absolutely nothing on the wings. Yeah, it was just an absolute disaster class, and like I said, we were actually a little bit fortunate we didn't lose that game. And yeah, it's just so frustrating after such a good win against Spurs to do that. Alright, Ajax 0, Galatasaray 3, a hat-trick from Victor Osimhen. So Galatasaray absolutely batter Ajax away from home here. What a victory for Gala, by the way. Osimhen hat-trick. I mean, he has been popping off in the Champions League. How many has he got in the Champions League now? Okay, he's squadding more than that. I should probably just do this stats. I think he might be top scorer. Yeah, he is there. 6 goals in the Champions League so far this season. Absolutely superb, and a massive win for Gala, but Ajax have been absolutely woeful this season, and surely Johnny Heidinger's got to go. They're getting absolutely battered by everyone in the Champions League at this point. Benfica 0, Leverkusen 1, goal from Patrick Schick. So it was a kind of 6-pointer actually. Both teams needed a victory. Both teams hadn't got a win yet in the Champions League. And Leverkusen came out on top in this game. Benfica seemed like they were on top, but big win for them. But a real damager for Benfica have now lost 4 out of 4. And you do think it's going to be an almighty task now for them to get into the top 24. They're going to need to almost win all 4 of those remaining games. I don't know who they have, but let's see. But it's going to be a big task for them, and it looks like it might be over for them. I mean, they have the Ajax next, which for both of them is pretty much a do or die. So we'll see what happens there. But nice win for Leverkusen. Okay, and we move on to one of the craziest games. Club Brugge 3, Barca 3, goal from Trisoldi, 2 for Forbes, goal from Ferran, goal for Yamal, and an own goal from Solis. So, I mean, Barca are just, they never let you down when it comes to entertainment, right? 6-goal thriller in this game. And, I mean, there was late drama as well. There was like 2, there was a disallowed pen, there was a disallowed goal. It absolutely everything was a mad wonder goal as well. It was absolutely insane. And I think the biggest sort of credit I could give to Club Brugge is they're probably coming away after a draw versus Barcelona disappointed, because they probably should have won that game. They took the lead 3 times. They thought they had a penalty, and they thought they took the lead 4 times in the game as well, with that late goal getting ruled out for a foul on Szczesny, which I think was the right call, but was a little bit unfortunate for Brugge. And same with the pen. But yeah, Brugge played fantastic. This Forbes brother, he was absolutely destroying Barca. 2 goals and assist in this game. He was absolutely tearing apart that back line. And yeah, Barca, obviously Yamal scored an absolutely wonderful goal, absolutely superb. But I mean, it was typical Barca, really, just defence absolutely shambolic. This back 5, I'm including Szczesny here, just absolutely reeks. There's no cohesion whatsoever there. They seem incapable of playing in that eye line. And you know, I think that miss of Inigo Martinez actually has had an effect on this team, because Inigo and Kabasi actually had, and Kunde, they had like a really good thing going, but Araujo just can't play in that back line, that high line, and Szczesny goal as well stinks. Like, that back line is awful, but that attack, I mean, just keep scoring goals. I guess they're going to keep up the tactic of trying to outscore every team they play, but I mean, as a neutral, I'm here for it, because it produces crazy games like that. Inter 2, Qarabag 1, goals from Lautaro Martinez, Carlos Augusto and Arad. Yeah, Inter get the win eventually against Qarabag. They had a little bit of a scare. Did concede their first goal in the Champions League this season versus Qarabag, but they did eventually get the job done. But shout out to Qarabag Almaty, who got a goal at the San Siro, which is a nice moment for them. Manchester City 4, Borussia Dortmund 1. 2 goals from Phil Foden, goal from Erling Haaland, goal from Ryan Cherky and Vladimir Anton. So Man City put to the sword Borussia Dortmund here. I know what it is, but I feel like Man City always play Dortmund in the Champions League and always beat them. Yeah, I don't know why, but Man City, fairly comfortable victory in the end for them. Phil Foden really looked back to his best too. Fantastic goal, sort of, don't want to say trademark Foden, but you know, I've seen him back those sort of goals a lot 2 seasons ago. We didn't really see it last year, but so I showed a glimpse of getting back to, but I guess prime Foden in a way. Haaland did Haaland things, got another goal, and overall it was a pretty good performance, good result, good win for City, who really are starting to best as a team, but that was really bad from Dortmund. I mean, that first half was absolutely woeful. Absolutely woeful. They offered no attacking threat whatsoever. Now, ironically, when it went 3-0 down, they actually looked quite good, and they actually did okay. They actually threatened City's goal a lot more, but it was too little, too late from them. I'll say 0, Atalanta 1, a goal from Lazar Samadzic. So a late dagger in the 90th minute there from Atalanta, and a massive result actually for them, and even Jurek, because he's been under some real pressure, because the results have not been going his way, but a massive victory here away in the Champions League. I think that's their first win as well in the Champions League this season. 90th minute goal. Now, Adamola Lukman did have a bit of a row with Ivan Juric after being subbed, but yeah, look, they got the win, which is massive for them, and maybe buys them a little bit more time in the job. Marseille, though, this is really, really bad. You can't be losing these sorts of games at home. If you want to be making the top 24, really, really bad loss for them. And finally, Newcastle 2, Athletic Club 0, a goal from Dan Burn and Joel Linden. So Dan Burn with a crazy goal in this one. It was like a curving header. I'm not sure I've ever seen that before, but it was absolutely superb. And Newcastle with a very comfy victory over a very poor Athletic Club side, who just in general this season have been absolutely woeful, both in the league and also in the Champions League. They haven't been particularly amazing either. And Newcastle with a fairly comfortable victory for them. So yeah. But yeah, that was the Champions League games and my thoughts. This is now what the table is looking like, I guess. You know, now we're sort of at the halfway point. It will start to shape up a little bit. So 3 teams are left on 12 out of 12 points so far, being Bayern, Arsenal and Inter. And then we have Man City in 4th, PSG in 5th, Newcastle 6th, Madrid 7th and Liverpool rounding off the top 8. And then in terms of teams who still haven't got a win, I mean, Juve have drawn 3 and lost 1. Then we have Brugge, Glimt, Slavia, Prague, Olympiacos, Villarreal, Copenhagen, Qarabag, Benfica and Ajax, who all haven't got a win yet in the Champions League. And Benfica and Ajax both have lost all 4 games. But like I said, meet in, I mean, maybe the worst game of all time here, to essentially decide who is going to finish with 0 points. But yeah, there we go. Those are my thoughts on the Champions League. Let me know your thoughts